Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you, to have this conversation with you. Your energy is contagious, sir, and I think that is why I am even more excited to be doing this with you. So where does this energy come from, sir?
Energy comes from motivation. So I keep motivating myself all the time. When you have to achieve certain things which you have set as objective or a target, then motivation keeps driving you.
What is your target of the day?
My target every day is being set by the situations and circumstances. I don't predetermine it.
All right.
Whatever comes as priority on that particular time and moment, that becomes a priority.
Sir, from law school to the Law and Justice Minister of India. I mean, in such a short span of time, I'm only telling you by your age, you're very, very young, sir, to have achieved all of this. नहीं तो मैंने सुना है इस देश में जब तक बाल सफ़ेद नहीं होते सर कोई बात नहीं सुनता. But how has law school to law justice is not a small thing, sir.
हमारे देश में एक प्रॉब्लम भी है और ये हमारा एक हमारे कल्चर भी आप बोलिए कि उम्र वाला को इज्जत देना. तो उम्र वाला को इज्जत देना वो एक सोसाइटल माइंडसेट है, अच्छा है, मैं मानता हूँ. बट वो एक सोशल दायरा तक रहना चाहिए. जब आप पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक्स और बाकी मॉडर्न चीज़ में जब देखते हैं तो उसमें उम्र तय नहीं करते हैं. उसमें आपका एबिलिटी तय करते हैं, आपका क्षमता जो होते हैं.
आप नाकू से दिल्ली आए थे, पढ़ने आए थे.
हाँ.
What was your perception of India before you came to Delhi?
On serious note, I was very disappointed because when I was in the village in Arunachal Pradesh, everybody is very, very patriotic and which is very visible. When I came to Delhi, I did not see that fervor of patriotism in open field. Many people even say that, why should I display my patriotism? Some people even say that, why should I hoist flag in my building as long as I am loyal to the country? These were unheard of things for me in the village. Created problem initially was that in Arunachal people are very simple as well as they are confined to their outlook, which is very, very patriotic, very, very nationalist, and also confined to very limited job which they have to do. But Delhi being the capital is a wide open.
There's people too much exposure to
and
life.
People don't have time for each other. So I used to feel initially, I used to be very disappointed why people don't care for each other. Neighbors don't care for each other. People in the society are not bothered about each other. So that is very rare for us. Like in Arunachal, we used to go for Prabhat Ferry. We used to sing Vijay Vishya Tiranga. Janda Uncha Rahega Hamara. So these are very rare in Delhi.
Do you think that was because Delhi being the capital and a metropolitan city, there's a lot more exposure to the world out there. There's a lot more travel from the western part of the world coming to Delhi. Maybe that's why people in Delhi had moved on or were learning something different? And Arunachal still being not so exposed to that culture.
That is one of the main factor. As well as our way of life is, very, very much guided by our teachers and our elders. Here people are exposed to so many things. So you are not guided by certain...
We're not guided, we're peer pressured in society.
It is true.
I'm sure when you were here studying at Hansraj College, you were an athlete, I hear. You were very active in student politics. You've always been in the creative and the sports field. Did you ever face or feel discriminated, racially profiling? Because we have to be very honest about it. It's an issue to be addressed within our country. It's still prevailing in our country. Did you ever face, I'm also talking 20 years ago, sir. So that time it was a lot more intense than what it is today.
When I was here in the university, there used to be, some kind of groupism.
Yeah.
Bihar, So Bihar students are called Biharis. And then Delhi students are called locals. And South Indians are called Madrasis. The Northeastern, they are called outsiders. And then Haryana people. Haryanvi. So it's a very, endemic thing. You can keep seeing it all the time. If you go to Bombay, there will be resistance that why outsiders are coming to Mumbai and taking our job. And in Northeast, in my own state, our local people are not very welcoming to the outsiders when it comes to job opportunities or when it comes to the question of reservation. So it is not confined to one place, one locality or one country, in fact. It is everywhere. In the ferry of India also you see the pressure is all around that we Indians are being looked as a major challenge in Nepal. When I went to Nepal, they say, oh, the Indians are taking away our business, all these things. This discrimination, profiling is not confined to one community or one particular country, but it is a global phenomena and it exists ever since the human evolution has taken place. Yours, mine, your community, my community, your tribe, my tribe, your religion, my religion.
But you have been in a very privileged position as a minister, and you're also called the face of Northeast. What have you done so far to mitigate the difference that people feel of the people of the Northeast to the rest of India? You spoke at LSR recently, and you spoke to the students out there who came from the Northeast. You said, देखो मैं भी पार्लियामेंट में हूँ और मैं भी माइनॉरिटी में, लगता है कि मैं अलग हूँ पर मैं बोलता हूँ और मैं जो मुझे बोलना है बोलना चाहिए. That's how if you participate you will feel included. So,
I think what you said is correct. When I came here as a student, I created certain place and position for myself. When I became member of parliament, then I used that platform. Because as a member of parliament, I had a perfect platform to make my statement, which is national, which is also at times it is global. My perspective, my outlook, and my thinking. So when Northeast India is an important part of the country, it also requires to be heard.
Absolutely.
What is the voice of the people? What is the demand, challenges, everything. So when I started speaking, some of my colleagues, they normally think that Northeast is a region, nothing much, about the details, but they feel that it's a conglomeration of few states and like that. When I started speaking very clearly, my being vocal also educated my colleagues also.
Absolutely.
So this issue of being vocal is so important in democratic country. But that vocal doesn't mean that I should shout, I should just scream. I must be substantive in my making the point. But beyond a point, if I keep talking about discrimination, it will turn the things into negative
I think
mode.
Then you are actually telling the world कि हाँ हम अलग हैं, हम inferior हैं. That you're making yourself a victim unnecessarily. So you said something very interesting, which I was anyways about to bring up. कि देखो, I am voicing my thoughts, my ideas. I'm not shouting. So I actually want to show you something, and then I want to ask you a question on that.
करते उचित नहीं है. फिर माननीय सदस्यों मैं कह रहा हूं, आप बैठिए सीटों पर.
So I know we live in a democracy. We all must say whatever we should. But sir, ऐसे कैसे पार्लियामेंट चल सकती है सर?
देखिए, the beauty of Indian democracy is a bit messy and bit noisy, but there has to be some thin red line.
That's
which
exactly
one
what I'm trying to
cross. During our time when we were in opposition for a long time.
Yes.
We never used to cross the middle line in the parliament. We used to protest from our side and we used to raise our voice and make our point. But the present opposition is crossing over and throwing papers and at times trying to disturb the chairman of the house. So at times it becomes problem.
So
but
when you were in opposition, your own finance minister, late Arun Jaitley, had actually, I'm quoting him, he said, disrupting the parliament is a legitimate tactic. So they said,
yes,
sir, you are representatives, elected representatives of the people of this country, while you are creating, discussing, and passing bills, very important bills for the citizens of this country. But if it's done this way,
yeah, that is why if you can criticize and if you can challenge the government through your argument, through debate and discussion, I think that is much more effective than just raising slogans and bringing placards. And
ऐसे लोगों को शोभा नहीं देता, sir. I mean, they're not गली वाले गुंडे नहीं है. But they're projecting themselves like that, which is very sad. So that's why I want to ask you, when you are elected as a member parliament, is there a standard operations of procedure like SOP? How do you get trained? Is there any sort of that? Because इसको देख के तो लगता है कि शायद नहीं है, but you have been in the parliament since the year 2004. So is there an SOP?
there are rules and regulations. Parliament are function according to the rules which are being framed by the rules committee, and the speaker and the chairman of the house are the custodian of the house, and house is run with the cooperation and collaboration of the members of the parliament only.
Because I just heard you were in the parliament speaking just last week. If you are trying to convey something, you've prepared something to deliver at the parliament, but पीछे से इतना शोर हो रहा है, it's a live recording, the country is watching it. How are we even going to listen to what you're saying?
बहुत प्रॉब्लम, मेरा तो गला दर्द हो गया उस दिन.
सर हमारे कान दर्द हो जाते हैं.
नहीं, मैं तो कान में तो वो पहन लेता हूँ, लेकिन चिल्ला के बोलना पड़ता है क्योंकि मेरा आवाज माइक तक पहुंचाने के लिए पार्लियामेंट के अंदर में इतना हंगामा होता है.
सर समझ में नहीं आता कि अर्नब का शो बंद करे कि पार्लियामेंट बंद करे. सर honestly, I would love to watch, I would love to hear our elected members speak and discuss and debate, healthy debates, as you rightly said, and discuss. But Prime Minister को respect नहीं देते जो चीखते
ये बड़ा दुख की बात है. हम लोग के समय में तो प्रधानमंत्री जब खड़े हो जाते हैं तो हम लोग सुनते हैं. जब पॉलिसी मैटर पे चैलेंजेस होते तो हम लोग जोर से बोलते हैं. लेकिन एक चीज़ सुबह मैं आपके बारे में बोलना चाहता हूँ.
हाँ जी.
ये बहुत ही एक मेरे लिए भी सुखद अनुभव है कि आप जैसे जब कहते हैं कि मैं डिबेट सुनना चाहती हूँ, पार्लियामेंट का डिस्कशन सुनना चाहती हूँ, ये यंगर जनरेशन के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है. आप पार्लियामेंट के डिबेट को गौर से सुनेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि देश का मुद्दा जो होते हैं निचोड़ के सामने में आते हैं. एक सांसद, एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट जो बोलते हैं, इतना सटीक बातें करते हैं, तो जब डिबेट एंड डिस्कशन होते हैं तो ये सब सामने में आता है. जैसे कि मैं खूब बोलता हूँ तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है कि मैं अपने बात को सदन में रख सकता हूँ. तो आप जैसे जो यंगर जनरेशन जो कहते हैं कि मुझे डिबेट सुनना है पार्लियामेंट का, तो इससे पार्लियामेंट्रियंस को ऊपर में भी प्रेशर बनता है.
सर मेरा सिंपल फॉर्मूला ये है सर, वी आर इनकरेज टू वोट, वी आर अ डेमोक्रेसी फॉर अ रीजन. हम किसी के लिए जाके वोट डाल रहे हैं, किसी को वोट डाल रहे हैं, वो लोग हमारे लिए जाके they are trying to improve our lives, right, by talking in the parliament. If we don't go and watch that, and I honestly sir, I do not, when the parliament sessions on, I do not watch the news jo only selective clips दिखाते हैं. I go to the Lok Sabha TV channel है sir, वहाँ पे जाके पूरा देख लो जितना देखना है, you can choose. But there's just too much noise and I was like, इसमें मैं किसको सुनूं किसको नहीं सुनूं. But I just had to point it out sir. थोड़ा शोर कम.
अभी पार्लियामेंट जब कोविड का रेस्ट्रिक्शन खत्म हो जाएंगे,
हाँ जी,
मैं आपको पास बना के दूंगा. आप जाके गैलरी से जब
Oh, I would
बैठ के
love to,
देखेंगे।
sir. It'll be an
वो
experience.
हिस्टोरिक मोमेंट होता है।
हाँ जी।
जब पार्लियामेंट में लाइव वहाँ जब डिबेट सुनते हैं ना,
अरे
उसका मजा अलग होता है।
सर मैंने सुना कैंटीन में सैंडविचेस और कॉफी भी बहुत अच्छी मिलती है।
आजकल पार्लियामेंट कैंटीन में पहले जैसे इतना सस्ता नहीं मिलता, सिंपल है लेकिन अच्छा खाना मिलता है।
सर महंगाई तो हर जगह बढ़ रही है। बट सर today's leadership of our country, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the party has a very pan-India reach. And I believe he's the only Prime Minister so far who's visited the Northeast the maximum number of times. He's beefing up the infrastructure. He's getting more exposed to culture there. What is your viewpoint of his vision of look east? Not just look east outside the country, but look east within our country.
ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है और ये बहुत सीरियस क्वेश्चन भी है। ये नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन एंड नेशनल सिक्योरिटी की दृष्टि से भी आप देखेंगे तो जितना बॉर्डर एरिया है, लगभग हमारे 7,500 किलोमीटर का लैंड बाउंड्री है।
हाँ जी।
और लगभग हमारे लगभग 7,500 से भी ज़्यादा हमारा कोस्टल बाउंड्री है। ये जो सारे जो बॉर्डर एरिया को अगर हम सिक्योर नहीं रखेंगे तो इंडिया सिक्योर नहीं हो सकते हैं।
हाँ जी।
तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर जब लद्दाख जाते हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट जाते हैं, अंडमान निकोबार जाते हैं, तो इससे बहुत बड़ा मैसेज आता है। पहले आपको ताज्जुब होगा, अगर इंदिरा गांधी एक बार अरुणाचल आ गए तो इतना बड़ा मुद्दा बन जाता है कि इंदिरा गांधी आ गए अरुणाचल में, या पंडित नेहरू एक बार आए हमारे वहाँ बमदीला में, तो वो आज तक न्यूज़ है कि पंडित नेहरू बमदीला आए थे, और राजीव गांधी तवांग आए थे, या बाद में वो कहते हैं HD देवेगौड़ा पासीघाट आए थे, या VP सिंह वहाँ आए थे। अभी तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर हर महीने जाते हैं नॉर्थ ईस्ट। तो ये चेंजेस मोदी जी ने जो लाए हैं कि 8 साल में 50 से ज़्यादा बार, मैं चुनाव का इलेक्शन कैंपेन को नहीं बोल रहा हूँ,
हाँ जी,
डेवलपमेंट मीटिंग के लिए प्राइम मिनिस्टर नॉर्थ ईस्ट मोर देन 50 टाइम्स इन 8 years टाइम।
हाँ जी।
वो आप सोच लीजिए। देन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, लुक ईस्ट पॉलिसी को एक्ट ईस्ट बनाया, क्योंकि इंडिया इज नॉट दिल्ली। मैं हमेशा एक बात को बोलता हूँ, आप जैसे अरुणाचल को देखते हैं तो अरुणाचल को लास्ट ऑफ इंडिया मत देखिए, ये देखिए कि इंडिया बिगिंस फ्रॉम अरुणाचल।
सर द सन राइजेस फ्रॉम
हाँ
अरुणाचल।
बिल्कुल, हमारा सनशाइन होते हैं, वहाँ से सनराइज होते हैं, फिर बाकी लोग आप लोग बाद में प्राप्त करते हैं।
हाँ जी।
देश का शीर्ष नेत्र, द टॉप लीडरशिप मस्ट रीच आउट टू द पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री वेर एवर दे लिव। जैसे कि मैं जब होम मिनिस्ट्री में थे, 5 साल में होम मिनिस्ट्री में रहे हैं, फिर मैं आयुष मिनिस्टर रहे, स्पोर्ट्स एंड यूथ अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर रहे हैं, लॉ एंड जस्टिस में आने से पहले मैंने काफ़ी मंत्रालय जो देखा है, रिवोल्यूशनरी चेंजेस देखने को मिला है। और प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने ऐसे एक एक सेक्टर को हर देश के हर कोने तक इसका छाप पहुंचाया है। तो इसलिए आज कॉन्फिडेंट नॉर्थ ईस्ट बहुत आप रूबरू दिखाई दे रहे हैं कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट कितना कॉन्फिडेंट है। और मैं ये बोलते रहता हूँ, ए कॉन्फिडेंट, वाइब्रेंट एंड यूनाइटेड नॉर्थ ईस्ट is very important for a strong India.
Absolutely.
तो इसको हम लोग
I'm sure sir there's so many resources there, the culture, the food, the music, the dance, everything.
Oh, Northeast people love food, music. Culturally, Northeast is so rich, so diverse. Environmentally, the richest region. In fact, one of the richest regions in the world. It is known as a hot biodiversity spot. It's a blessed land. In fact, Northeast is the only region in India which is water surplus, is water abundance, forest, greenery, the hills, mountains.
I haven't yet been, but जितना मैंने देखा है वो सर, I've seen from your social media, your Instagram feed, your Insta stories, they have. मुझे थोड़े तो अरुणाचल की यात्रा करवाई दी आपने, बट नाउ आई हैव टू फिजिकली गो देयर।
जाना चाहिए, सबको जाना चाहिए, परिवार के साथ जाना चाहिए। मैं
तो जाऊंगी सर, स्पेशली द माउंटेन्स।
एक बार परिवार के साथ जाना चाहिए, एक अपने एज ग्रुप के साथ फ्रीक आउट करने के लिए जाना चाहिए। मैं जब अरुणाचल जाता हूँ तो मेरा उम्र 1 साल कम हो जाता है, जब दिल्ली आता है तो 1 साल बढ़ जाता है। इन्वायरमेंट का ये जादू है।
एक नहीं सर, 5 साल यहाँ पे स्ट्रेस बहुत है। But sir, speaking of your culture and the vibrancy of music and dance, and I have seen even the Prime Minister has acknowledged that or about you whenever you visit your hometown and you meet your people there and your I'm sure your friends and your family and everybody nearby. I'm going to ask you for a small request. I'm going to play something and you have to just go along. If I don't struggle with this again, yes. So, request, you have to teach me one step. I found this something from your village, from
Yes.
your hometown. One step.
इतना easy है, आप उसमें देखो ना.
नहीं सर देख रहा था मैं घर देख रही थी. One step, anything.
ये बहुत simple है.
तो आप difficult सिखा दो. Anything. So I travel a lot across India and I to look for moments where I can be as culturally affluent, I believe, because जब हम बोलते हैं India diverse है, we very underestimate that point. हर 25 किलोमीटर से हमारी भाषा, हमारा God, हमारे belief, our language, our food, everything changes. That means we're so culturally rich, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
And so maybe when I come to Itanagar or Arunachal, some part I'll be dancing.
Oh, absolutely. Arunachal is land of festivals, land of all kind of events.
I mean, this is my suggestion. Like, do you not think we should make Arunachal or all of the Northeast region a more accessible tourist destination? सर हमारा इंडिया में गुजरात, मध्य प्रदेश, केरला से कितने लोग सब विद इन इंडिया ही ट्रैवल करते हैं, बट अभी तक अरुणाचल इज नॉट बीन पिन डाउन टू अ डेस्टिनेशन. उसको एक बनाना चाहिए कि आइए, बहुत कुछ देखने को है, घूमने को है, खाने को है, एंड इट्स अ वेरी फैमिली ओरिएंटेड लैंडस्केप एज वेल. सो व्हाई हैवंट वी बीन एबल टू डू दैट? और
थोड़ा सा इशू है इस पे. आई कांट एलैबोरेट इन nutshell, but I can say one thing. We Indians are not very adventurous. We are not very adventurous. We are, people who want comfortable. We want everything to be well organized and well arranged. So we prefer to go to very conventional destinations.
हाँ जी.
आप किसी इंडियन को पूछोगे कि हिल स्टेशन कहाँ है,
शिमला,
तो शिमला, मसूरी, नैनीताल, दार्जिलिंग, अल्मोड़ा, ये सब में रह जाएगा. या कश्मीर उसमें रह जाता है. देयर आर सो मेनी ब्यूटीफुल प्लेसेस बियॉन्ड. अब विदेश की बात करोगे, किसी भी इंडियन को पूछिए, बोलेगे बैंकॉक, सिंगापुर, दुबई, लंदन, अमेरिका, इसी में रह जाते हैं. आप जिस टूनिशिया में इतना खूबसूरत जगह है, पास में ही है, या मंगोलिया है, या आप किर्गिस्तान में है,
सब भूटान
है, या आप लैटिन अमेरिका में. जैसे कि मैं अभी वहाँ गए थे टूनिशिया में, तो इतना सुंदर जगह है. वो इटली से जस्ट नेक्स्ट अक्रॉस है मेडिटेरेनियन. वहाँ के एम्बेसडर ने बताया कि पिछले 3 साल में एक भी इंडियन नहीं आया. तो वी आर वेरी ट्रेडिशनली such kind of people who follow people who have already been there. हम अलग से ढूंढ के नहीं जाते हैं.
ट्रेंडिंग
तो
जो भी ट्रेंड चल रहा है,
ट्रेंड पे चलते. तो अरुणाचल जैसे जगह है, थोड़ा उसके लिए अलग से आपको ट्रेन से जाना है, फिर बस से जाना है, फिर कभी कभी पैदल भी जाना है. तो हम लोग इतना एडवेंचरस नहीं है, इतना हम तकलीफ नहीं उठाना चाहते हैं.
आप बोलिए अपने व्यूअर्स को आज कि जाओ, थोड़ा कष्ट उठाओ.
मैं तो बोलूंगा,
बिकॉज इतना अच्छा लगेगा जाके वहां पे कि तुम वापस नहीं आओगे.
अरुणाचल में आते हैं, लेकिन अब हमारा देश में इतना जनसंख्या है कि उस हिसाब से तो बहुत आना चाहिए.
एग्जैक्टली.
अभी आ रहे हैं, लेकिन कम है.
But also, so, if we have more young adults appearing for civil services, I think that's also will create a lot of diversity within our representation in the bureaucracy. I think abhi tak, to be honest, most of our wellness, spas, hospitality, it's almost the service providers are from the Northeast, and it's completely taken over by them, which is fantastic. But there are other professions also which will give them more exposure, more accessibility. I mean, I would actually encourage everybody from the Northeast, because you want more diversity within the people who are governing you, writing or creating policies for you.
Yes.
So just a personal experience. When I was in high school, we all have careers counselor. So my careers counselor उन्होंने एक form दिया, उन्होंने बोला write who would you like to become or what would you like to become. So I wrote I want to be a good leader. So my careers counselor called me. She said I'm not understanding आपने लिखा क्या है. मैंने कहा I want to be a good leader, and I was also standing for student elections in my school that time. And I won also. I was the president of my school. She was not, she's like, good leader कुछ होता नहीं है. Good is not a quality, as a trait associated with leadership. Why do you think like she would have said that to me? And
इंडिया में पॉलिटिकल प्रोफेशन को नोबल प्रोफेशन के रूप में नहीं देखता है, क्योंकि हम लोग इमोशनल लोग हैं, हम लोग रैशनल लोग नहीं है. हमारा देश में सरकार है, चुने हुए, तभी तो हम मजा ले रहे हैं कि हम कुछ भी चाहे कर सकते हैं. अगर बोलते कि पॉलिटिशियन खराब है तो फिर मिलिट्री डिक्टेटरशिप लगाएगा तो फिर रोएगा आप. कल को हम कहेंगे कि जो पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप नहीं चाहिए, मिलिट्री लीडरशिप चाहिए, डिक्टेटोरियल लीडरशिप चाहिए, या कम्युनिस्ट रूल करना है, बिल्कुल वन पार्टी वन मैन लीडरशिप रहेगा, तो फिर खुद ही पछताएगा. तो कभी कभी फ्रीडम का एहसास आपको होता नहीं है. जब आपका फ्रीडम खत्म हो जाएगा तब आपको एहसास होता है कि फ्रीडम का मायने क्या होते हैं. तो मैं एक इम्पोर्टेंट लाइन बोलना चाहता हूँ. लोग पॉलिटिशियन को ब्लेम करेंगे, सपोज कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया तो सारा पॉलिटिशियन ऐसे होते हैं. एक बिजनेसमैन गड़बड़ करेगा तो बोलते हैं सारा बिजनेसमैन चोर है. ये तो ठीक बात नहीं है. एक पुलिसमैन कुछ करने से फिर गड़बड़ कर देते हैं तो लोग बोलते हैं अरे पुलिस लोग ऐसे ही होते हैं. अगर एक वकील ने कुछ गड़बड़ किया तो सारा वकील ऐसे होते हैं बोलते हैं. एक ऑफिसर ने कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिया तो बोलते हैं ये ब्यूरोक्रेसी ने देश बर्बाद कर दिया बोलते हैं. तो ये तो हमारा नेचर में है कि एक चीज करने से ब्लेम करता है. हमारा वहाँ किसी टीचर ने एक बलात्कार किया, सब लोग बोलते हैं ये सारा टीचर लोग बदमाश होते हैं. तो ये गलत बात है. तो हमारे यहाँ जनरलाइजेशन कर देते हैं और बात को बहुत ही हल्के में ले लेते हैं. एक्चुअली में किसी का अपना कैरेक्टर नहीं होता है, समाज ही कैरेक्टर होता है. I always say that the politicians in any society do not have their own character. The reflection of the society,
I think
is what you see in the leadership. So a leader's character is the reflection of the society he belongs to. Otherwise तो वही से तो आते हैं ना लोग.
It's also your circumstances, I believe, you know. I mean, it's not that अगर कुछ किसी ने गलत किया, I mean, अगर मुझे लगा किसी ने गलत किया है कुछ, it's not because that person is the bad person. It's also because the circumstances and situations, sometimes people have to bend the wrong way or the wrong side, and it's probably not intentionally done. It's just how the situation
asks. That is why we should not be judgmental in everything. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, the first law minister, also said that even if we draft a good constitution, if the people who are going to interpret or execute this piece of book, if they are bad, then the constitution becomes bad.
Exactly.
If people are good, even if constitution is bad, then the implementation will be good for the people.
Sir, do you think the constitution should be a part of our school curriculum?
Of course, everybody should know what is the constitution, at least the preamble. One must know that when we have given ourselves this book, we the Indian people, we the citizen, we the people of India, that is how we begin with in our preamble. That is where all the equality, social justice, everything comes.
And so my last question for this day is going to be, sir, this, please do not answer very politically about this, because I'm only asking you this because you have experienced something recently which very few people got to experience it. So you were in the midst of a war. You were in Poland when the Ukraine-Russia war.
I went to Slovakia.
Sorry, you were in Slovakia. And sir, हमने तो world wars के बारे में पढ़ा ही है. Right? I've only read it in school, read about it, that's it. I can't even believe, for that matter, कि at this very moment there's a war going on somewhere in the world where we are actually living very comfortable, smooth lives. We have a roof over our heads, we have 3 meals a day. So what was your experience like being in the midst of a war? What kind of a reality check was it for you?
It was a challenge because when the Russia-Ukraine war started, there were so many, more than 23,000 Indians were there. So that is why Prime Minister decided that senior ministers must go there on the field and lead the operation. So since we could not enter inside the exactly war zone because it's a war between two countries. So
Yeah.
third country is difficult to operate. But still our mission officers still manage to operate and bring every Indian safe except one unfortunate soul who was killed in the firing. So it was such a difficult circumstances at that particular time and cold climate,
Yes.
It was minus
February,
5,
March
6,
is not a good time
and
weather-wise. Yeah.
in the snow time, such a cold place. Our students not having food for days, even to get a bottle of water was such a difficult thing. First of all, how to get the Indians safe out of Ukraine to a neighboring country,
Yeah.
and from neighboring country we
Coming back to India.
have to take them to India by a special aircraft. So the entire process, you have to arrange for food, their traveling, their stay, and the other problems which they were facing. So overall, I think we have done a good job because it was a call of the duty. कई लोग message देते हैं and thousands of Indian students जिसको हमने safely वहाँ से लेके आए, they feel happy, their families are blessed. मुझे कुछ families भी मिले recently. बोला कि आपने हमारे बच्चे को वापस लेके आए.
It's a proud moment, sir. It's a proud moment.
और मुझे गिफ्ट भी दिए हैं कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब आप वहाँ जा करके बच्चे को यूक्रेन से लेके आए हैं. आज बच्चे बहुत ही सेफ सिक्योर्ड है घर पे आप लोग का वजह से. तो जब लोग ऐसे कहते हैं तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है कि हमने देश के लिए कुछ किया है.
So we will end by, I'm going to give you these phrases. आपको अपने मन से you just have to complete them. The strength of India.
Unity.
The weakness of India.
Religious division.
One teaching that your father gave to you.
Honesty.
Oh, perfect. I think we have ended on a right point because you've been very, very honest with me with all your answers. And I am grateful for your spirit, for your motivation. You said I am motivated and that's your energy, sir. That's absolutely on point. So thank you very much for doing this with me. I hope you had a good conversation.
Oh, it's absolute pleasure because I did not think about anything in official manner because
Sir, मैंने आपको बोला था, I told you no script, sir. We are just having a conversation and that's about it.
I liked it because most of my interviews are serious in nature, and these days ministers don't give interview. After a long time, I'm speaking to you and on a very, very casual note, but some of the issues were very pertinent and very relevant questions for this time, this generation. I think you are one of those in the new generation who can really contribute a lot in making country a great nation.
Thank you very much, sir. But my only intention and my effort is just that we have so much to talk about. We have so many stories to tell in our country, and everybody has such a personal journey to learn from. And there's so much to learn from you, sir. I'm not saying your journey's ended, sir. तो बहुत आपने काम करना है. But sir, we end every episode by actually we're giving back to our environment something. So we actually go and plant a little plant outside.
Okay.
So we'll just walk there, just plant it, and that will be the end of today's episode.